So hello YouTube, it's CalFX here and I'm back with another one, right? So, well, today's video will be I will do a quick breakdown on a trade that I caught on on GBP-USD. This was actually a request from a subscriber. He actually asked me to make a quick breakdown, a quick simple breakdown on some of the trades that we've been taking on the private group. And also I decided to make it because that is all a very important model, right? That is very repetitive in the market, especially if you want to scalp during London session. So it's something that I've been seeing for about just 2 years. So it's a very good model. I believe you guys will be able to walk out from this video with a good model. So let's get right into it. Before we actually look at the trade itself, let's just understand this schematic right here, because this is the base this is actually one of the models that we trade on the private group. So it's a very important one. So basically what you want to look for is to mark up the Asia high, and then you want to look at the Asia low, especially on the lower time frame. For example, this is a nice scalping for 5 minutes, 3 minutes time frame. So what you want to do is you want to look at just an hour before London open. You want to look for the Asia high and Asia low, and you wait for price to break to violate one of the structures. So most of the times what happens is that we may see price actually taking out the Asia high, and then it comes down to the demand zone that was responsible for the break. And sometimes you may have a violation of that demand zone, right, which is a demand to supply flip. So what you want to look for is to enter right after the demand to supply flip, or you can wait for the second break. So me personally, I really recommend to wait for the demand to supply flip to happen and then wait for the second break, because this will give you a confirmation of the bearish order flow shift, right? That we have shifted from bullish to bearish, because this is actually a reversal strategy right here, right? So we want to wait for price to take out the Asia high, and we actually attempted to take out the Asia low, because this is what happens usually is that during Asia session, usually is a consolidation, right? We have consolidation. Usually we want to see price actually taking out the Asia high, and then we have our confirmation model to take out the Asia low, right? So sometimes we may have a point of interest right here on M15, for example. That was, let's say this was printed on during New York session. Then we have the Asia session. Then the next day, we may have London session actually coming into, or the Frankfurt coming into this M15 POI, and then London session will provide us the confirmation. It can be a change of character, it can be the second break or the third break of structure, and then we actually aim for the Asia low. So it's a very powerful strategy. I hope you guys take note and also backtest this, right, by the end of the video. But that's the basis of it. We want to have Asia high and then Asia low. We wait for the Frankfurt to take the Asia high, and then we wait for the confirmation model, because this will be the London reversal. Usually London tends to reverse what happened during Frankfurt hours, right? So in this scenario, for example, you can just say, okay, we have this demand zone. We want to see the reaction. We want to see the pullback and the violation. That's a first confirmation right there. Price comes back. We can take the trade from the first break, or we can wait for the second, which is a much better confirmation, and we take the trade from the second break of structure right here. And this, you can just aim to take out the Asia low, right? So sometimes it will follow through, right, all the way to the Asia low, but sometimes you can just target a 1 to 3, 1 to 5, right? This is actually supposed to be a scalping method, right? So we're not aiming for too much. It's just like a 1 to 5. I think that's the minimum that you can get on the lower time frames. So that's it, guys. Asia high, we want to see the liquidation. Then we want to see the order flow shift from bullish to bearish. And that's when we take our trade from this second break of structure right here, right? So then we aim for the Asia low. So let's hop on the charts and let's look at this very clearly. So here we are on the 3 minutes. So let me just quickly go back to M15, right? So we can understand what was the idea behind this trade. So we can see that the M15 actually pushed to the upside right here, right? So what happened is that I said, okay, price was already here. I think, let me just use the bar replay. When I came into the charts, price was already here. So I said, okay, we have we have loads of imbalances sitting below. So I believe that, price was more likely to come down to this point of interest right here, use this low as liquidity, and then, continue to push all the way down to this swing low right here. Because if you look at the structure, we can see that we have this swing high, then we had this swing low, then price made this high, and then we have this low before price made this high, and we have so much imbalances sitting below. So I believe that, so my understanding was that, okay, maybe this will be used as a weak low, right? Because, we have this very swing that swept, ton of liquidity below. And then we're more likely to see price coming down to these zones and then continue to move to the upside, right? So what I saw for this particular trade is that I went down to the 3 minutes time frame. So I was here, so let's just drop down to the 3 minutes, and let's delete this this line right here. So if we look left, we can see that this move right here happened during Asia session. So this was the Asia high right here. So let me just use the line right here. So this was the Asia high, and I said, okay, I want to see the break, right? I want to see the break above this Asia high, and then I want to see the confirmation right here, right? That the reversal. So the Frankfurt kicked in, it grabbed Asia high, right? So we had a liquidity raid right here. So I said, okay, I want to have that confirmation for London session right here. So Frankfurt came down, London open started at 8 a.m., right? 8 a.m. London. So what I saw was this demand zone right here. This was the demand that was responsible for taking out Asia high right here. So we had the break. So I said, okay, I want to see the reaction. If price continues to the upside, I'm not going to take the reversal, right? So what happened is that price came here, pulled back. It failed to give a high, right? So this is the high reluctancy. We had the first break of structure. So this was the violation of demand zone. So if I just pull this to the left, we can see that, okay, we had the first break of structure right here. So this was the first break. So I said, okay, this right here is an entry right here. We can enter from this order block right here, right? Because we're trying to take out that reversal. Also, if we look back, let me just quickly go back to M15. We know that M15 broke structure to the upside right here. This was the break of the M15. So we want to push price all the way down, at least to these order blocks. If it's not going to take this low, we want to target this order block right here, right? So we have this, this one at the extreme right here. We can use the fair value gap as well. This one right here. So this can be just our minimal target. If price continues, we can just leave a little run-up, after to see if price is going to take out this low. But we want to look at M15 is bullish. We say, okay, we're trying to ride the reversal, the pullback. The M15 pulled back. Asia just got swept. London session kicked in. We want to have the confirmation. We dropped down to 3 minutes time frame. We had the confirmation right here. We had price violating the demand zone that was responsible for taking out Asia, right? So now this can be the first entry, right? But as I always recommend, you can always wait for the second break or the third break, right? It's a much better confirmation. So let me just play price right here. So price actually mitigated that order block. And we can see the drop right here was very, very clean. So this was the second break of structure right here. I think the bar replay is not going to stop. Okay. So this was the second break of structure right here. So I'm going to mark this as a boss right here. So we can say that, okay, this was the first break. Let me just bring price here. So we have the second break right here, right? So we had the first break, the second, right? Price mitigated the first order block. We have the second order block. So we can take our limit order right here. We can put our stop loss. We can just, we can even put our stop loss at this week. Now, the reason why I chose this week is because this week, this was a very, that's where the buyers exhausted and then the sellers came in. So technically, this week is the last point of buyers exhaustion before the sellers came in. So this can be a very nice order block. That's just a refinement. You can refine to that one. You can give a nice 3.5 pip stop loss, right? Just to give a little buffer above the order block, right? So let me just push this to the left, and our target is going to be this one right here. So if we go back to M15, just real quick, we can see that we have this very clean order block sitting below right here. So we can just go back to 3 minutes time frame and see that, okay, we have the demand reaction, price pullback, demand failure, confirmation right here with the second break of structure. We can just say, man, I want this low right here, right? So this can be a very good 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio. So let me just play price. So price pulls back. Okay, right there. So we can see that we got tagged right there at the POI, right? So the refinement was just spot on, right? And we can see the price actually tapped our order block right here, our very refined M15 order block before they actually continued to the upside. So the goal actually was to see price actually coming into the POI, and then we see the continuation because M15 was still bullish, right? So that's it for the video, guys. That's the quickest, simple breakdown that I could give. This is a very powerful strategy. It's very, very repetitive. It's all about looking at Asia session. Monitor the Asia high and low, right? So once the Asia high gets broken, we drop down to lower time frame. We want to have that confirmation so we can take the Asia low. Or you can pair it, for example, you have the M15, for example, just real quick before I end the video. You have the M15. Right, and you have the M15 POI. So sometimes we can see during the Asia the consolidation, and then price takes out the high, and now we want to see that confirmation so we can write the reversal, right? So we want to have that confirmation, that change of character, or it can be the second break. We will take the second break of structure right here, all the way down to the M15 POI, and then we have the continuation to the upside, right? So so I hope I was able to make, this breakdown very clear for you guys. If you guys are willing, if you guys like the video, subscribe, right? Just like the video, subscribe. If you're willing to join my mentorship, also with the signals, because I provide daily signals every single day. So if you're willing to join my mentorship, feel free. I'll leave my contact below. Subscribe, guys, like the video. I will see you guys in the next one.